Welcome to Even Field, the sports podcast that puts women first. I'm Josie, and I'm here with Ambre as always.
Hello.
Today we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to end with the Supernovas, so end with the big dogs.
Yes, so stick around.
But I don't think there's any, you can't downgrade what we're about to talk about first.
No, we have another nationally ranked team.
I know. It's great.
Awesome.
So of course, well, maybe not of course, because we have a lot of nationally ranked teams in the women's sports in this area right now, but Nebraska women's soccer
cracked in the top 25, coming in at 24, I believe.
Yes.
Which is still pretty awesome because a ranking is a ranking.
Ranking is a ranking, and they rolled UC Davis last night.
Yes, yeah. So they're actually off to their best start in 23 years, which pains me to say that because that was 2000. I graduated from high school in 2000, so thinking of it 23 years ago, it makes me want to cry. But yeah, as you mentioned, they beat UC Davis 4-1 with two scorers scoring all of their goals. Not that the rest of the team, I mean, ridiculous defense.
Yeah.
The passing was impeccable, but yeah.
No, crazy. We had a photographer there last night at the game, so you should definitely check out our photos on omaha.com. But yeah, just massive shout out to them. Don't want to disregard any of the other sports. I know you have a little bit about cross country you want to talk about.
Yes. But if you want to catch the Husker soccer team really quick, next, they are playing a 2022 NCAA tournament qualifier, St. Louis, on Sunday. Yes, Sunday at 1 p.m. So if you can't make it to Lincoln, the game is going to be streamed on Big Ten Plus.
I believe so, yes.
So you can see our ranked Huskers in action.
And they are really impressive, I will say.
They're
you can tell
genuinely fun to watch.
And you can genuinely tell from the photos how talented they are and how pumped they are about just about everything.
Yes. And our other college soccer teams, just super quick. UNO, they're 2-2. Unfortunately, they most recently lost to Northern Iowa, but they do take on Drake University on Sunday, I believe, in Des Moines. And then Creighton, they're coming back from a 3-match road trip. They're hosting Minnesota today, Friday, for Socktoberfest.
Socktoberfest.
Which I just love saying because it's fun. And then they're going to travel to North Dakota State on Sunday. So Blue Jays and Golden Gophers today, Friday at 4 p.m. So should be a fun watch. Creighton's usually pretty good on the field. So.
Creighton's pretty good.
Yep. And then cross country. So our Huskers, they won their opening meet last week. It was the first time that they've won that meet in years. So
years.
It's pretty cool. And then let's see. Since 2015, I have notes, I promise. And they were led by Berlin Schutz, which should be a relatively familiar name for anybody who pays attention to track and cross country because she was a standout at Lincoln East. In fact, she won the 800 and the 1600 in Class A this spring, including a mile record, I believe, for the state meet. She won the entire race, which as a freshman in your debut
is crazy.
Yes. I mean, that takes a lot of confidence, just talent.
Is she also competing in track for the Huskers?
Most cross country runners
That's
do.
What I thought,
but. And they race again. They host their meet tomorrow, Saturday morning. So you can see her in action at home, literally.
At home.
this weekend.
From Lincoln.
Yes, exactly. And then our other area college cross-country teams got off to a pretty good start too. Creighton finished third in their season opener as a team. They had an athlete redshirt last season, Danielle Hodling. She placed second to lead the team, which is pretty cool. She's actually been Creighton's top performer in every single cross-country race of her collegiate career.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So talk about consistency.
That doesn't get more consistent.
And then UNO, they opened their season with a 5th place finish in the Augustana Twilight meet. That's their highest ever finish in that particular meet in program history. That's the meet that the Huskers were at as well. So, I mean, it's a pretty big meet. And then they're going to be racing in Nebraska at Lincoln this weekend as well. So you can see a lot of our athletes competing.
Yeah. They're all in Lincoln.
Yes, exactly. And now we get to volleyball.
I think the best place to start might be Nebraska and Creighton's match.
Yes.
I think you would agree with that.
I completely agree.
So top 20 matchup was their 20th matchup or 22nd, depending on if you count the matches that happened before, because Creighton stopped their program, restarted in 1994. It's a whole thing. Creighton doesn't count the matches before that.
Right.
Nebraska does. But top 20 matchup for 20th matchup sounds better, so I'm going to go with that.
Yes, I agree.
Norris Dis was out for the Jays.
Oof,
which
that's painful.
It was such a blow for them, I feel like. And I was not surprised by how the first two sets went, I will say. But once like Destiny and Simpson warmed up,
they got in that rhythm.
They cost the Huskers their first set of the season.
Right. And they were the last D1 program to have not dropped a set. So.
And this was like a weird thing because this happened last season too. Huskers had 17 straight sets, and then Creighton gave them a blow, and that's the exact same amount of sets. It was Creighton again this year. So like weird Twilight Zone music.
Exactly.
But like, they performed significantly better in the third and fourth sets. Creighton still hasn't beaten the Huskers historically. But, like, they're getting closer, and I would love to have seen that game with Norris. That would have just been amazing. But we got what we got.
Right. It was still an exciting game to watch.
And we still have next year.
Yes.
Because it's an annual thing.
Thank goodness.
But, yeah, those Husker freshmen are so good.
It's the poise they show on the court. It's so... I don't want to say surprising because obviously they're some of the best players in the country, not just in their class, but in general.
Well, yeah, they were the number one recruiting class. You can tell.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is I feel like you don't see that in most sports, like especially in like men's sports because there's that physical maturity level a lot of times that, you know, freshman guys don't necessarily have.
Just look at the football team, for instance. Right. You don't see a lot of true freshmen playing.
Exactly. And, you know, basketball, you'll probably get a couple, but it's not as prevalent. But here we have, I mean, even in women's sports, you know, there's, freshman standouts and you might get a couple, but like
most of their starting lineup.
Freshmen.
Yeah. And they are, I don't even have words for how good they are. Like Bergen Riley. And Harper Murray.
Yes. When you watch them play, the plays that they can make, I mean, everyone on the team, of course, for the Huskers, but like the plays that especially the two of them can make, you're kind of like, oh, okay. I don't want to get on the other end of that.
It almost feels like she has been setting to Murray.
Yes.
For years.
Yes.
I feel kind of weird saying this because this feels like kind of a big thing to say, but it feels a little bit like when Nicklin Hames served to Lauren Stivrins. I don't know what you want to do with that information, but that's kind of what it feels like to me. I mean, we don't have like
it would take us a long time to do comparisons, but we'll just go with, you know, watching.
From the matches we have.
Yes. Yeah. And, I mean, it's so exciting. So, I mean, Huskers are number 4. Fully expect to see that improve. Oh, do we say go up or go down? Go up, right?
Well, okay. So here's the thing is like they would have gone down if they lost to Creighton.
Right.
I don't know how big of an impact that match is going to have on either of their rankings.
True. We'll need someone above them to lose, really, to make a big move. So,
yeah.
Speaking of losing, aren't they taking on Long Beach State?
They are taking on the former, what was his title? Assistant head coach or
associate head coach.
Yes. Yeah, Tyler Hildebrand. That's going to be a phenomenal match.
Yeah.
You got to remember Long Beach State beat Texas.
Which dropped Texas out of the top ranking, right?
Yes, they dropped to number 7, I want to say. But Long Beach State isn't ranked. I would like to repeat that. Long Beach State isn't ranked.
And once again?
And Long Beach State decimated UNO last night.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. And they played in last year when they played, right? Because they played again last year, and I believe Nebraska swept them.
Yeah.
Could happen. Nebraska is that good.
Nebraska is very good.
After what we saw against Texas, you know.
Texas is also very good.
Like, John Cook would never allow his team to go in overconfident and unprepared.
No, they just lost a set.
Right.
They just like had their
perfect
season ruined. I bet he's mad about that.
I completely agree. Yes. So we're definitely going to see some fired up Huskers. So that is tomorrow, Saturday. And I mean, there's very little chance there's a ticket left for you guys. So if you don't have them, I believe it's on Nebraska Public Media. So
that sounds correct.
Yeah. So that should be good. And probably Big 10 plus. But if you don't have that subscription, Nebraska Public Media all the way. And then, of course, the radio.
The radio.
Which you miss a bit not being able to watch. But
Volleyball's
you
so
still get
fast-paced.
that excitement.
Yeah.
So.
It's like the speed of hockey. Except
you can see the ball.
Except you can see the ball.
Sorry, I can't see the puck.
No, that's fair. There's not a really good way to.
But no, but it's the same.
televise.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely same type of speed. Let's see. Do we have other volleyball notes? I know UNO has a pretty big weekend. They take on Iowa State tomorrow.
They take on Creighton tonight.
Oh, Creighton's tonight. Yeah. For some reason, because Iowa State plays Creighton Sunday. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. That's a big match for them.
Huge.
Yeah, it will potentially establish the ranking in state with Nebraska clearly on top, having beaten both of them.
Right.
If Creighton beats UNO, then it's Nebraska, Creighton, UNO, which is how it's been.
Yeah, and I kind of think it's going to stay that way, but I don't expect UNO to just roll over.
No, I mean, UNO didn't roll over at Memorial Stadium.
Nope. Not at all.
So,
they have a pretty challenging schedule, so,
yeah.
They're coming into it, I hope, with at least a little bit of confidence, since they have been holding their own against these awesome teams.
And
for the most part.
Yeah, and Coach Buttermore, that's what his name is, has said that they prepared their non-conference schedule with the mindset of, we have to go win the Summit because the Summit is a one bid team.
Right. They are definitely going to be prepared for that tournament when it comes around.
Yeah, I mean, the South Dakota schools always are kind of standing in the way in volleyball, but we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, it should be fun. And then we just talked about Creighton's playing tonight, obviously.
No idea if Norris is back. I would think probably not. But now that Adam Simpson is, shaking off the freshman jitters, it's just probably, man, your first career start, and it's against the Huskers and a record-breaking crowd for Devaney.
Which means, so last year when Creighton played, sorry, we're going back to Creighton, Nebraska really quick. When last year when they played, they set that all-time record at the time. Has since been broken. And then Wisconsin broke it a week later.
And Nebraska got mad.
Yeah. And then now Nebraska reigns supreme. I still, I don't know. It just, gosh, volleyball is so much fun.
It's so much fun.
And good volleyball is even better.
Yeah. I would probably watch bad volleyball too, though.
Oh, definitely.
Someone's spiking the ball. And, oh boy.
Yes. So that'll be fun. And then our supernovas, right?
We do have our supernovas.
Okay. So as you all heard last week, I had a conversation with a couple of them, a couple players, and we gave you a little taste of that interview. We have another portion of that interview coming out, Nia Reed and Tori Dixon. This time they're talking about the Omaha fan base. Nia also talks about meeting with some youth volleyball players in the area before they talk about the impact that they think the team and the league's going to have on volleyball as a sport. So here are Nia Reed and Tori Dixon.
I'm just expecting the fans to kind of just be like how they are in Lincoln. I love the support that the Nebraska team gets. And I feel like since Nebraska are diehard volleyball fans, they'll kind of see or recognize us from the Big Ten. So I think everybody's super excited to just, especially Penn State boosters and stuff like that, they just want to keep up with their alumni. So I think being home and being able to come and see their favorite players play again, I think it's going to be monumental. So I think fans are just excited to, see us play on home ground.
I mean, a lot of players are either choosing to stay in the U.S. or maybe some opportunities fell through, but there's a lot of top players who are playing in this league. So, and not just Big Ten. I mean, Big Ten's going to be cool because Nebraska is going to hopefully, it's going to be nice to be on the other side where they're going to be cheering for us,
exactly.
Instead of against us. But, I just think that the product that's going to be out there on the floor is going to be really high level volleyball. We have a lot of international players. I know our team in general is probably a little bit older, a little more experienced, but that also means a lot more international experience. And I'm not saying that's like, we're going to win everything because of that, but it's going to be huge. I think it's a really cool opportunity where some of these players have played at really high levels all over the world. And so just to have everyone back in the States and to keep growing this league is going to be really cool.
I got to go to elite volleyball, and I met some 3rd and 4th graders, and they were so cute. They all wore purple, which was my favorite color, but they just asked a bunch of questions. They're like, are you famous? I signed a bunch of autographs, but I started volleyball when I was 13. So just to see young girls in Nebraska playing at age 5, 6, 7, it's like almost mind blowing because I didn't play a sport at those ages. So I don't know a lot of states that played sports that young. So that just goes to show again how Nebraska is the epicenter for volleyball.
I think it's also going to be really big for the sport of volleyball in general because I know boys volleyball is on the rise and they're starting to get some high school. Growing up in Minnesota, we didn't have boys volleyball, and now you're starting to see it become like a high school sport and get some momentum. And I don't know about Nebraska, but it's also going to be cool, like showcasing the sport of volleyball in general, like just being able to be that person for girls and boys. And I think it's going to be really cool, and they're hopefully going to be able to like recognize us and have some people to look up to, which maybe is going to grow them into like watching some of our men's national team players playing. And who knows what's going to happen, like maybe there'll be a men's league here in the future. Like it's just really cool for the sport, I think.
So if you want to hit up the Supernova social media, you can also see other interviews that they've been doing. Season tickets are still on sale, so come watch games with me because I will be there. And I also noticed on Instagram today that Jason Derulo is doing a contest to win a signed jersey, the little shirt jerseys. So I highly encourage everybody to do that. Fun story.
Oh, boy.
I was at physical therapy today, which is where I also work out. And one of the trainers came up and goes, hey, did you know that Omaha has a professional volleyball team?
I would love to have seen your response to that.
Yeah, I thought he was joking because I have been talking about the Supernovas so much, especially when I got to actually meet some of them and talk to them. I may or may not have been bouncing off walls with excitement.
Yeah.
And he was there. So clearly he doesn't listen to me when I talk. But he continued with, did you know that they play at the CHI? And I'm like, oh, Joe, I already have my season ticket. And he was like, never heard of them. So clearly he lives under a rock.
Yeah, because I can tell you the stories for the Supernovas, like just
Yes.
on our website alone, get a ton of traffic.
Yes.
So people are aware.
And they've been doing meet and greets. They've went out. I mean, they were at the state fair. They've been on multiple TV stations locally. Yeah. And I was driving home from Papillion the other day, and one of the sports, memorabilia, sports equipment stores has a huge sign out front that says, we have Supernovas gear.
I would love to know what store that is.
Yeah, I'm planning on heading back there because I can't remember what it was, but it was not open. So I'm just going to, next time I'm driving back, which will be tomorrow, I plan on going that way, and I will let you know and tell you what they have.
Perfect. She can fill everyone.
Exactly. So stay tuned next week. I'll have more details. But yeah, so that's what I've got. Oh,
you can buy their merch on their website, by the way.
You can.
But
if you want to go and... Yeah, that's right. Josie sent me a message about what she was getting and how excited she was. So, yes, we are Supernova stans here.
Yep. I think that's definitely...
This is now just a Supernovas podcast. Everything else is secondary.
We're ending with this.
Yeah, so we will talk more high school or any high school next week.
Yeah.
Promise. I will say it was kind of cute. UNO softball, not cute, awesome. They went to the Mercy Elkhorn softball game this week and did the tunnel for the Mercy girls since they were hosting. They learned their special handshakes, which was a lot of fun, and throughout the ceremonial first pitch. So it was really cool seeing them out there, supporting our high school athletes.
That is really nice to see, especially since a lot of their recruits end up coming from the metro
local
area.
Yeah. And they got to show off, they had a really good season last year.
They had a really good
an amazing season. So it also got a chance to honor them locally. So I think that was pretty cool too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think that's all we have for today.
That's all I've got.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Bye for now.
Bye.